On the news tonight, President Buhari under pressure to end fuel, new naira scarcity. ECOWAS Commission urges credible decisions in Nigeria. Turkey and Syria earthquake kills 1,500. Good evening, and we're glad to have you join us on the major reports. I am Olubumi Ajiboye Agbuola. As the fuel and currency scarcity slowly paralyzed socioeconomic activities across the country, President Muhammadu Buhari has come under pressure to find a solution to the crisis which have subjected Nigerians to untold hardship. Nigerians, including senators, governors, and youths on social media, are insisting that the president must immediately resolve the new naira note crisis which sparked violent riots in Edo and Oyo states. The All Progressives Congress governors recently met the president with a view to persuading him to end the new naira note crisis. Kunle Shomori, the chief press secretary to Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun, said his boss and other APC governors were in serious talks with the presidency and the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, over the new naira note scarcity. According to him, Governor Abiodun is fully in support of other governors on the issue of the new naira notes and has taken it up with his colleagues at the highest level, saying that all stakeholders are discussing with the CBN governor and the presidency with a view to having a lasting solution in the next few days. If not hours, relief will come the people's way. Meanwhile, Nigerians have bemoaned the persistent scarcity of fuel and new naira notes in the country, calling on the federal government to find lasting solutions to the problems. Those who spoke with Osbc News against the backdrop of the fuel scarcity coupled with the scarcity of the new naira notes maintain that it is much better for the governments to ensure availability of fuel. Also, the availability of the new naira notes will save Nigerians from further hardship. Oluwatobiloba Odunuga reports.
Nigerians have been facing untold hardship as a result of the fuel crisis and the scarcity of the newly redesigned naira note. The situation has become more worrisome following allegations that some bankers as well as POS operators are deliberately holding the new note to create scarcity and increase charges. It will be recalled that President Muhammadu Buhari recently urged Nigerians to give him 7 days to resolve the cash crunch and other crises that have become problems across the country, from the policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria to change high-value naira notes with new ones. According to the president, the currency redesign will give a boost to the economy and provide long-term benefit, while he expressed doubts about the commitment of commercial banks in particular to the success of the policy. Speaking on this development, public affairs commentators, including Comrade Olusegun Lano and Honorable Tunji Adeshokon, said the scarcity of the new naira note have no doubt inflicted hardship on many Nigerians, adding that there is need for the government to look more into its monetary policy in such a way that the policy will better the lots of Nigerians. They expressed optimism that things will get better following President Buhari's plea to Nigerians.
It has adverse effects on the economy, skyrockets, inflation, and the root cause is not far-fetched. It is the poor management, the poor implementation of the Naira redesign policy of the CBN. If you want to redesign the Naira, a deadline is not necessary. It is better to allow the two currencies, the old and the new, to coexist indefinitely without any deadline. And you can gradually mop up the old notes through the banking system.
Well, we agree these times are hard. No doubt about it. It comes in the life of any country. It could be so. And it is the general consensus that at the Naira swap is ill-timed. That has been in the media debate for over a week now. And we all agreed that the Naira swap is ill-timed. At least it should have come earlier or later than this. Well, I want to agree with those people, even though not in totality, because no time is good enough for any hardship.
Honorable Adeshokun stated further that the persistent fuel scarcity in the nation, if not rescued at this rate, may add to the already high cost of living that Nigerians are battling with.
The petrol scarcity thing, yes, it's been on and off, on and off, on and off, but it's been persistent and unprecedentedly high this time around, and that is why people are crying. But I believe that we will start experiencing some improvement
as Nigerians strive daily to get the petroleum product and the new Naira note. Analysts say the intervention of the government and other stakeholders across board is urgently needed. Oluwa Tobiloba, Odunugab, Osbc News.
The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has sued President Muhammadu Buhari, Senate President Ahmad Lawan, Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, and 2 others at the Federal High Court, Abuja, over their failure to cut the unlawful National Assembly budget of 228.1 billion naira, including the 30.17 billion naira severance payments and inauguration costs for members. Joined in the suit as defendants are Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami and Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning Zainab Ahmed. The case followed the Federal Legislature's increment of their 2023 budgets from 169 billion naira to 228.1 billion naira. The approved appropriation shows an increase of about 59.1 billion naira. The nation's budget of 21.83 trillion naira is based on 10.49 trillion revenue and 11.34 trillion naira deficit. The Economic Community of West African States Commission has urged the 18 registered political parties and candidates in the February 25 and March 11 Presidential, National Assembly, Governorship, and State Assembly elections, respectively, to be mindful of the fact that the world will be watching the democratic exercise. The president of the commission, Omar Ture, represented by an official of the regional body, Dr. Onyenye Owunka, stated this during the 4th and final series of the Southeast South Zonal Training and Interactive Engagements with representatives of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, as well as other stakeholders involved in the polls to ensure credible, free, and fair general elections. Rising from a meeting with stakeholders in Owerri, Imo State, on the forthcoming general elections, the Commission also charged them to adhere strictly to provisions of the Electoral Act 2022 guidelines and the peace accord they signed prior to their campaigns. He also charged the Independent National Electoral Commission to ensure unbiased conduct of the polls, as the entire Africa and the world are looking up to Nigeria, noting that the importance of Nigeria in the West African sub-region could not be overemphasized. The spiritual director, Catholic Adoration Chaplaincy, Enugu, Reverend Father Ejike Mbaka, has warned that the current Naira crisis will mar the forthcoming elections if not addressed immediately. Mbaka gave the warning during the first Sunday administration at Adoration Ground, Umuchigbo, Nike. He lamented while the President and the Federal Republic and the federal government commenced the implementation of the currency policy towards the general elections when they had 8 years to implement it. The cleric insisted that there is no justification for the unimaginable hardship the regime has brought upon Nigerians. The new Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Yushau Ahmed, has charged the corps members to avoid political arguments before, during, and after the February 25 and March 11 elections. Ahmed, who gave the charge while addressing the corps members in Kaduna State, cautioned them against showing political bias. He also warned them, especially those who will be engaged by the Independent National Electoral Commission as ad hoc workers, to remain unbiased electoral officers In line with the provision of the amended 2022 electoral laws, he advised the corps members not to embark on unauthorized journeys that could undermine their security. The new DG stressed that his administration would continue to ensure that corps members enjoy improved welfare and security. Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke says his administration is poised to offering necessary support to the judiciary to overcome its operational challenges. Governor Adeleke stated this while performing the swearing-in ceremony for the newly appointed judges in the state. Governor's Office correspondent Abdurrahim Adekeleko reports.
Adeleke said the state is moving as evident in various developmental strides happening in all sectors. The governor said his government is poised to support the judiciary to overcome the operational challenges facing the sector while acknowledging the long list of needs of the sector. He reiterated his commitment to earlier promises of upgrade of judicial facilities and introduction of ICT in the dispensation of justice, among others. Governor Senator Adeleke described efficient judiciary as the foundation of democracy, saying democracy cannot thrive unless the judiciary is guaranteed of independence. He promised to support the judiciary unconditionally for the arm of government to deliver on its adjudication mandate. He equally asked the judges to sustain the elevation and see their appointments as a call to service.
As we welcome new judges to the bench, permit me to challenge us to rededicate ourselves to separate public service. Service delivery within the context of laws and regulation should be our watchword. The people and their will, the law and the Constitution, all are within a marriage to serve public interest.
Administering the oath of allegiance and judicial oath on the four newly appointed judges, Director of Cabinet, Mr. Benga Deniran, asked them to discharge their duties without allowing their personal interest to influence their decisions. One after the other, the four new judges, Honorable Justice Mohammed Lasisi, Honorable Justice Michael Awe, Honorable Justice Fatima Sodamade, and Honorable Justice Joseph Owolawi, signed the oath before the governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke, in the presence of the Deputy Governor, Prince Kola Adewusi, and the Chief Judge of Osun State, Justice Oyebola Adepele Ojo. Responding on behalf of others, Justice Mohammed Lasisi thanked God for making their call to the bench a reality. He appreciated the governor and members of the cabinet for his dynamic leadership style. The new judges equally lauded the administrative and leadership qualities of the Chief Judge of Osun State, promising that the trust bestowed upon them will be guaranteed and guarded with all sense of objectivity, impartiality, fairness, and justice.
Absolute nada. I believe God is if we fail to continuously make here our deepest sense of gratitude towards our own mama, the Doyet of the Osbc Italy, go-getter, record taker, juries who present the clear video that can be tapped. I mean, it's not
It has been Abdurrahim Adekeleko reporting.
The National Center for Grassroots Development and Crime Prevention Initiative says they were taken aback and astonished by a statement signed by the media aide to the immediate past governor of Osun State, Ismail Omikwido, titled, "Why Adeleke Will Lose His Appeal Against Tribunal Judgments." The National Coordinator, Center for Grassroots Development and Crime Prevention Initiative, Oluranti Salako, indicated this in a statement on behalf of the organization. The statement hinted that Omikwido copiously and confidently asserted that the incumbent governor of the state, Senator Ademola Adeleke, would lose his appeal at the appellate court. Meanwhile, as a leading organization with a mandate to propagate social ideals in all communities of Nigeria against breakdown of law and threat to peaceful coexistence, the group found the development in Osun State very unfortunate and a recipe to anarchy. The organization explained that the statement made by Omikwido is by all intents and purposes an affront on the Court of Appeal and the Lordships as well as the judiciary in general. More so, when the judgment which favored the former governor Adigboyega Oyetola is still pending at the appellate court. The Federal Road Safety Corps has agreed to partner with the management of the Nigerian Port Authority to address the menace posed by fallen trucks in Lagos State. The Lagos State Sector Commander of the FRSC, Corps Commander Olusegun Ogungbemide, made the pledge in a statement through the Road Commander Sector Public Education Officer, Mrs. Shonosi in Lagos. Ogungbemide said that in response to the menace posed by fallen trucks in Lagos State, FRSA and NPA have agreed to partner in addressing the challenge. According to him, both parties have resolved that while FRSA operatives might not necessarily be involved directly in the port's trucking operations, it will collaborate to ensure that the trucks meet minimum safety standards and are properly latched before being allowed out of the port terminals. He said that both parties also agreed on the need to support the federal government's policy on ease of doing business, as the management of NPA should support in training the truck drivers for improvements in their skills. As the world marks the International Zero Tolerance Against Female Genital Mutilation, the need for men to lead advocacy for the eradication of the menace has been emphasized. This formed the crux of the call by stakeholders leading sensitization against female genital mutilation. Oluchi Amoda has the details.
February 6th of every year is set aside by the United Nations Organization to create awareness about the dangers inherent in female genital mutilation, as well as lead advocacy on the need for the eradication of the menace. According to the World Health Body, female genital mutilation comprises all procedures that involve altering or injuring the female genitalia for non-medical reasons and is recognized internationally as a violation of the human rights of girls and women. Explaining more on it, health officer from the Ministry of Health, who has been leading advocacy on the need to put an end to female genital mutilation in Osun State, Mrs. Toyin Adelowo, stated that the practice constitutes an extreme form of discrimination against women and girls and violates their right to health, security, physical integrity, right to be free from torture, cruel, inhuman, or degrading, and their right to life when procedure results in death.
The dangers associated with female genital mutilations are the bleeding is there, the pains, infection can come in, like tetanus, hepatitis, even including HIV/AIDS. And we also have obstetrical risk, which may, that is, it may lead to prolonged or obstructed labor. And we all know the implication of obstructed labor or prolonged labor.
Speaking in the same vein, the Police Public Relations Officer in Osun State, SP Yemisi Opalola, noted that it is a criminal offense for anyone to be engaged in female genital mutilation. She advised the public to join hands with the government to end FGM.
Anybody that is found doing that has gone against the law and it is punishable. That person is going to face the wrath of the law. And that's why I'm telling you. But for us and for every right-thinking person, you will see that there is no gain in it. Please stop doing it.
Estimated 200 million girls and women alive today, some form of FGM. And if the trend continues, 15 million additional girls between ages 15 and 19 would be subjected to it by 2030. Oluchi Amuda, Osbc News.
The newly inaugurated president of the Noble Lions Club has been charged to focus on the club's core service areas, which includes the fight against childhood cancer, vision feeding the hungry, diabetes awareness, and prevention and care of the environment. The president of the clubs in District 404B2, Nigeria, Are Olalekan Owolabi gave the charge at the inauguration of Oshonobu Lions Club president in Oshogbo. Omotayo Adebodun completes the story.
The Osun Noble Lions Club International District 404B2 has inaugurated leaders that will paddle the affairs of the club. Ceremony which was witnessed by past presidents of the club, royal fathers, members as well as invited guests. In his remarks, the governor of the club in District 404B2, Nigeria, Are Olalekan Owolabi, admonished the new president to focus on the Lions Club core service area, which includes the fight against childhood cancer, vision, feeding the hungry, diabetes awareness and prevention, as well as caring of the environment. Speaking with Osbc News, the newly installed president of the club, Yeye Olabisi Bolarinwa, appreciated the support of all members and the trust reposed on her to lead the club. She added that Lions Club International is the largest service organization worldwide, with members scattered all over the world in the name of selfless service to humanity, which will be the focus of our administration.
This time to tell the whole world that the 3 T's of Lions Club, which is the first T, time, second, treasure, and the third one, talent. I'm promising to use the 3 T's to lift Osun Noble Lions Club to the greater heights.
The oath of office was then administered and distribution of membership certificates to 21 members of the Osun Noble Lions Club. The high point of the event was the award presentation to distinguished personalities who stood out in their humanitarian service to their respective communities, among who was Olori Kafayat Adedoyin, who was installed as the royal mother of Osun Noble Lions Club. This is Omotayo Adebodun reporting for Osbc News.
You are welcome to our sports segment. Youths have been charged not to bury their talents in sporting activities, as sports remain a competitive, lucrative business across the globe. This was the submission of those who spoke at the maiden edition of Osbc Ogolua soccer competition. Said Adeboje completes the story.
For the third place was decided between Phoenix Football Club and Suraj Football Academy. The two teams struggled to be the second runner-up, but Suraj Football Academy carried the day with a lone goal. When it was the time for the contest for the Golden Trophy, the 3 FC boys slugged it out with the Awolu Football Club boys. There was no dull moment throughout the competition, but the god of soccer seems to be on the side of 3 FC. At last, 3 FC defeated Awolu Football Club with 2-1. Speaking at the grand finale of the soccer competition, the organizer, Mrs. Abosede Kasumu Ogolua, explained that her gesture was to further engage the youth in productive activities and as well enhance unity. Mrs. Kasumu Ogolua, who describes sport as a unifying factor, pledged to always encourage youth in attaining their career in sports.
The youth, they played so well, and I'm ready to empower them more to beyond their expectation. I am ready, but like I said, one thing after the other. They should do what is ahead of us, and I will do more for them.
Others who spoke, including Honorable Adeoye Adelakun and Honorable Kamil Oyedele, lauded the initiative of Mrs. Abosede Kasumu Ogolua, saying that it will, in a long way, encourage youth participation in sporting activities. They implored those blessed with talent in sport to develop their talent and shun thuggery. At the end of the competition, 3 FC, which emerged as the overall winner, smiled home with a giant trophy and the sum of 500,000 naira. Awolu FC with 350,000 naira, Suraj FA 250,000 naira, and Phoenix FC with 200,000 naira. For Osbc News, this is Said Adeboje reporting.
While on the foreign scene, the most powerful earthquake in nearly a century struck Turkey and Syria today, killing more than 1,500 people in their sleep, leveling buildings and causing tremors felt as far away as Greenland. The 7.8 magnitude early morning quake followed hours later by a slightly smaller one wiped out entire sections of major Turkish cities in a region filled with millions who have fled the civil war in Syria and other conflicts. Reports say rescuers used heavy equipment and their bare hands to peel back rubble in search of survivors who they could, in some cases, hear begging for help under the rubble. The head of Syria's National Earthquake Center, Rahid Ahmed, called this the biggest earthquake recorded in the history of the center. And that ends the major report on OSBC TV. It was edited by Kayode Adebayo. I am Olubumi Ajiboye Agbola, wishing you a pleasant night.